Excelsior! So I'm going to read The Double Life of Private Strong #1. This is published in June of 1959. So The Double Life of Private Strong, new action champ of comics. Who is this man? What is he? What is the incredible secret that makes him the most fearsome fighting machine ever encountered in the battle for justice? Meet Lancelot Strong, the man with the double life. See him hurl bolts of lightning generated in his own body. Gasp at the reflexes that defy the deadliest weapons at point-blank range. Watch him adapt to temperatures in which nothing can stay alive. Darkness cannot stop him, no more than it does the bat, whose uncanny instinct is more accurate than radar. Follow him into undersea depths where no man can follow. Begin the amazing, spine-tingling adventures of the Shield, a new and different type of hero who packs the punch of a hydrogen bomb. Begin his story now on the following pages. They hunt him here, they trap him there, but he confounds our enemies everywhere. He foils them with powers incredibly new, while they search for one man who really is two.
I can't hit him! He dodges bullets like he can walk between them!
The Double Life of Private Strong. This is the era of atomic miracles, of far-reaching advances that will bring man to new heights of achievement. But in the midst of all this, the Cold War still continues.
These instructions will be delivered to Agent Ford in America. As you wish, Commissar. This is a mission only he can handle. In addition to his cruelty and cunning, Agent Ford also possesses the oriental quality of patience.
Then the Americans are developing something new. Something big.
Something they laugh at, comrade. It's the work of a man named Fleming. But we are not laughing. We are quite interested in this man's experiments.
Days later, two noted scientists visit the private laboratory of Professor Malcolm Strong at his retreat on the outskirts of Cooper City.
It's the most unusual scientific equipment I've ever seen, Professor Fleming.
This represents a great investment of money, time, and effort. But it will turn my theory into reality.
Yes, your theory. And your secret room. We're here to see you about that.
First, my theory, gentlemen. It is known that man uses only 1/10 of his brain power. The other 9/10 are unexplored territory. What lies in that unknown region, gentlemen? Think of the fantastic abilities that might be ours if the latent powers inside the unused portion of the brain could be activated and harnessed. We could accomplish wonders that would dwarf all present-day achievements. Professor Fleming's hand presses a button on the wall, and, in short, it is possible for men to be more than mere men. And that brings me to the secret room.
Great heavens! A child! Enclosed in this cage of glass!
Then the outrageous stories we've heard are true.
Using my boy, Roger, as an experimental subject has not harmed him in the least. He lives a germ-free existence and receives microelectrical stimuli through that helmet, which has been developing his hidden powers since infancy.
Never mind further explanations. Fleming, when the authorities get your report, they'll take swift action against you for mistreating your boy this way.
Mistreating him? That's ridiculous. Roger is the best cared for lad in the world. There's no telling what heights he may reach. When his callers depart, Fleming is spurred to immediate action by their threat. They shall not stop my work. Roger and I must go somewhere else. My experiments will go on. But close on the trail of the fleeing scientist,
Don't lose the good Professor, Claude. I'm sure he didn't leave his notes behind. On a lonely stretch of this road, you may overtake him.
There's a nice dark turn up ahead, Agent 4.
that car, it's following us, drawing closer. I wonder.
No, Claude! Catch him and make our scientific friend pull up to the side of the road. Claude! You fool! You cut in too close!
What a drop!
Bunglers! It will take days to find and examine this scattered wreckage in that wilderness below. There's little chance that we'll ever recover Professor Fleming's papers.
Nobody could be alive in that mess.
1,000 feet down, the silence of death closes over the echoes of tragedy. And in that terrible silence, the incredible happens. A small arm emerges from the twisted metal. Then,
Daddy! Daddy!
it is in this atmosphere of death that a fantastic life begins. The voice of a child calls to a past which can no longer answer. A little boy wanders off, still calling, searching.
Daddy! Daddy!
Hours later, at the farmhouse of Abel Strong,
Martha, don't stand a gaping, woman. Make up the bed in the spare room.
Land's sake, Abel. Is that a child you have there? But wherever did you find him, Abel Strong?
Wandering near the creek. He was all tuckered out, poor lad. Fell asleep soon as I picked him up. Strangest looking hat I ever did see. The boy was a-wearing it.
Poor little tyke. The woods in Fairfield County are no fit place for a babe to be a-wandering.
Sure is a handsome boy. The kind of young'un we always wanted. Martha, do you suppose we...
Hush, Abel. You'll wake him. We'll just keep him with us. If he has no parents, we'll raise him as our own son. We'll call him Lancelot. I kind of take to that name.
the years pass by, and the amazing secrets of Professor Fleming still lie in the wreckage, now hidden by a forest in Fairfield County. And unaware of his strange heritage, a boy grows into a sturdy youth, raised by fine people who can tell him nothing of his past. But inside his brain slumber the powers that are destined to come to life when outer space springs to the earth, the spawn of the X-World. On the steppes of the frigid Siberian mainland, a group of red scientists scan the heavens.
A new Sputnik is due to fall out of orbit in about 2 minutes.
This one will not burn when it falls back. We can slow its fall. But wait! Look! An object from outer space has struck, lodged in a Sputnik.
It would deflect the Sputnik's course.
Soon after, in a wooded area of Fairfield County, USA, a strange object plummets from the sky and buries itself in the ground. For days it lies in the warmth generated by its descent. Broken, twisted metal, a bizarre nest for its strange occupant, awakened to life. And growth, astonishingly rapid growth. Only days later, an incredible incident takes place at a logging camp.
Well, look, a big Jim. He came bolting out of the woods like a scared rabbit.
What could have done that to him?
Run! on! Run for your lives!
Suddenly,
Look! What in blazes is that? Yow!
the strange creature's eyes suddenly flare up like solar fires, and white-hot beams of light set the area aflame.
Where did that thing come from? What is it? Don't stand there gaping, Johnson! Get the man to safety while I phone for help!
Not far from the scene, two young men stumble on another discovery, a remnant of the past, covered by the years with forest foliage.
Gosh, Lancelot, what's down there?
It looks like the remains of a funny kind of trailer, full of books and gadgets and things. Here, take these. I'm going down for more. As the minutes pass,
Lancelot! Lancelot! What are you doing down there? Are you all right?
never felt better, Spud. What do you think of it? Somehow, I couldn't help putting it on as soon as I saw it.
Great day in the morning, Lancelot. That costume. How did that get into the wreck down there?
According to one of the books in the wrecked van, it was made for someone who was given special powers to protect all mankind from the forces that would cause it harm.
Gosh, that suit sure fits you like a glove. But I've never known you to have any such powers.
Still, I can't shake off the feeling that it belongs to me. I'm going to keep it.
Lancelot! The Timberland! It's on fire!
Young Lancelot reacts to this sudden development, but with reflexes doubled in speed and strong young muscles surging with fantastic strength. Come on, we've got to lend a hand.
Yet! Lancelot took off like he was shot out of a cannon.
Lancelot is jolted by the sight that greets him when he reaches his destination.
Great Scott! It's no use! Bullets and dynamite won't stop it!
Some inexplicable instinct suddenly galvanizes Lancelot into action.
Oh no! Here's another wonder to plague us!
The scorched air rocks to the crackling thunder of high voltage, lightning which smashes into the creature from space.
That thing! It's taking millions of volts of electricity like sugar candy! That creature's eyes are glowing again! They caught the mystery man with rays of cold light, and have frozen him in his tracks! Get back to town! Warn the people and contact the state militia. It doesn't look like we'll be able to hold that creature.
Okay, Chief. But the creature, grown to giant size, lunges forward and...
That thing's got the motorcycle! It's melting it like butter! Yow! It missed me by a hair! It's got us boxed in but good. We'll never warn the town in time. What's more, it's growing bigger. There's no telling how big it'll be when it hits the big cities. It'll freeze and burn and leave civilization in shambles, if it isn't stopped here.
At that moment, a cloud of steam begins to rise from the stiff, frost-covered figure of mystery, who incredibly begins to stir, raising body temperature, thawing out. And finally, that thing isn't of this planet, that's for sure, but it certainly thrives in our atmosphere. Let's see what happens when I take some of it away. Trigger-like reflexes suddenly come into play as... Now, if I can whip up enough wind... The racing figure speeds faster until it becomes a streaking blur, and in its wake rises a whirling wind of super cyclone force. Then, a monstrous clap of thunder tears a gap in the surrounding air. When the ominous echoes fade into silence,
Chief, look! It's gone. Vanished. What happened to it?
That's there feller in the shield outfit. Betcha he can tell us what happened.
All right, Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Who are you? How did you get rid of that thing?
well, it didn't really vanish. Let's just say I cut it down to its original size. You see, I played a hunch. I created a vacuum around the thing, and in a vacuum it contracts in size to survive.
Well, I'll be. It's dead.
Suddenly, before his listeners can question him any further,
Hey, wait a minute. You can't leave. What's your name?
Shield will do. Just call me the Shield.
Blazes, he's gone. Quick as a flash. The most amazing young feller I ever did see. I don't know who the Shield is, but he sure protected the lives of everyone this day.
Later, when the Shield resumes his identity as Lancelot Strong, he returns to look for his friend Spud. He finds...
It's Spud. What happened to him? The poor lad was trapped by the forest fire. He's the only casualty of today's unfortunate happenings. I'm afraid there's not much that can be done for him.
Spud. Gone. If only the Shield had known. The Shield and his powers. I must learn all about them, to help others who may need him as Spud did.
But we will try.
You grab the loot, Mike. I'll take care of the night watchman.
A short feature, The Hideout. Later,
Man, it's a miserable night. Rain, rain. Why does the rain always bring out these pesky insects? You'd think that up here, 20 stories above the city, we'd be rid of them. It's almost as if they followed us.
Maybe they want to share the loot, huh, Mike?
ho ho,
Knock it off. It wasn't my idea to hide out here. Ugh. This place is spooky at night. What's that?
It's only a shadow, caused by lightning.
it's the night watchman come back to haunt us. You shouldn't have hit him so hard.
You're cracking up, Stooge. You and your crazy ideas about ghosts gives me the creeps. The building is locked. Nobody can get up here tonight. Not even a ghost. Trick that fly. Oh,
No! Don't kill it! Don't! No!
what are you afraid of? Think it'll come back to haunt us? There, gotcha. Look!
I still don't believe it! He must have eyes in the back of his head!
I give up. I'll confess.
Next morning,
Look what I found, Sergeant. Fast asleep on our doorstep. I also found these tiny pellets stuck to their clothing. I figure this is what put them to sleep. These slivers, like a stinger from a hornet. Or a fly.
coming soon, another great new champion of mystery, Adventures of the Fly. Ask your news dealer to reserve your copy now. He walks up the sides of the buildings. His eyes see from any angle. What is the secret of his fearsome stinger gun? What part does the little orphan boy play in his fabulous life? You'll thrill to the dangers. You'll marvel at the exploits of the Fly. Buy it. Try it. You'll buy it again. What fervent plea from the dim past, uncoiling soundlessly from the memory of an extraordinary man, could spur him to streak straight toward the gaping mouth of a leveled cannon? Only the startling recognition of his other identity known as the Shield, sends Lancelot Strong on a deadly mission to solve the mystery of the vanished wreckage.
Stop him! He must not get the notes in the briefcase!
The incident of the X-Creature has been hushed by the authorities to avoid mass panic, but it remains fresh in the mind of Lancelot Strong as he grows in height and strength.
I reckon you own up that you dreamed all that stuff you did that day, Lancelot.
The sheriff managed to figure out a logical explanation for everything. I wish I could. I know I did all those things. But how? The only way I'll ever find out is to go back to that wreckage at the foot of that cliff.
It is then that Lancelot makes the decision to go back to the scene of the old wreck.
I've been putting it off. It's almost as if I'm afraid of what I'll find here, or what I'll learn about myself. The wreckage. Gone. Not a trace of it.
At this point, we travel back a week in time to an apartment in a nearby city.
Clot, you're as stupid as the Americans who leaked out the story of what happened in that lumberjack camp. Look closely at that map.
I am looking, Agent 4.
The lumberjack camp is in Fairfield County, no? That is where we forced Professor Fleming's van over the cliff 15 years ago, no? So why could not someone have stumbled across the wreckage, found the professor's notes, and used its findings to repel the menace from outer space?
Later,
Your theory is most ingenious, Agent 4. What makes you think anything of value might be left at the foot of the cliff?
We made the mistake, Clout, of not examining the wreckage the night of the wreck. I do not propose to make the same mistake again. All the notebooks are intact, and much equipment is still in the van. Don't stand there like a fool, Clout. Arrange for everything to be hoisted to the cliff top at once.
and so, a week later,
The wreckage. Gone. Not a trace of it. I guess there never was any wreckage. I guess I did dream up the whole thing.
suddenly, there is a blur of action as a fox flashes by in swift pursuit of a small, helpless quarry.
That rabbit doesn't stand a chance. If I could only...
And then it happens. His instinct to intervene in behalf of the helpless underdog manifests itself in an amazing burst of speed that enables him to foil the predator.
Zzz! Scat! There isn't a man who can't catch up with a fox on foot. But I did. So I didn't dream it all up. I do have strange powers. But what could have happened to the wreckage? I have to think. Think back to the day I found it.
Again, the same incredible power within him rises to his aid. A strange glow surrounds him. Time begins to roll back, like a motion picture in reverse. Memory honed to fantastic sharpness races back to the day he found the wreckage. And beyond that, through the years, back to his early childhood on the farm. Back to the van crashing over the cliff. Back to his father's laboratory.
This brain experiment won't harm you. It will enable to adapt yourself to conditions no man could live through. When you are old enough to wear this, you'll be wise enough to use your powers as a shield against the evil forces that threaten mankind. You didn't have to worry, Dad. Now that I know who I am, I'll be what you hope for. A shield against evil.
At that moment, on a desolate beach hundreds of miles away.
You will deliver the notebooks to our submarine at dusk. You are certain of the rendezvous point.
Everything is arranged, Agent 4.
But the shield is already at work.
Have to track down that wreckage. Must make sure those notebooks haven't fallen into the wrong hands. Tire tracks. And one with a frayed tread. Too bad that Dad didn't live to see how successful his experiment was. Those tire marks are at least a week old, and I can still see them.
The tracks lead him to one of Agent 4's underlings.
Start talking, mister. Where are those notes?
I'll tell you, but it won't do you any good. They're being handed over to a red sub of Atlantic Beach right now.
This is all you'll have for me? Oh, once these notebooks are in the hands of our scientists, the motherland will be invincible. Look! There! In the sky! Streaking toward us!
Swing that deck gun into action! At once!
Out of my way, you red swabs!
You got them dead center! Fire! Fire!
Wherever he is, I'll get him.
But ultra-supersonic reflexes come into play, enabling the shield to dodge the hurtling shells in midair. You get only one try, boys.
Look out! The briefcase!
In the flurry of the flight, the briefcase and its precious contents are hurled overboard. The quick eye of the shield follows its course, and he dives after it. When he breaks the water's surface, the notes are in his possession, but the enemy is determined to stop him.
There he is! Shoot him down! He mustn't escape with that briefcase!
Once again, the shield exercises the use of his amazing powers. A lightning molecular rearrangement renders his body harder than steel, and like a flashing torpedo, he rams the submarine.
Zoom!
Soon after, looks like I've sunk her. Well, those Reds can take a swim until the Coast Guard picks them up for a trip to jail. I won't say a word to anyone on the farm. The shield will be a lot more potent if nobody knows who he really is. That night, at the farm...
You're late, Lancelot. You went back to the cliff, didn't you?
Yes, but I didn't find anything.
Well, this trip to the cliff may be your last for some time to come, lad. That letter came in the mail for you today. Golly, my draft noticed. I'm going into the army.
I wonder how the shield will take to that.
Tommy Troy teaches judo. Number 1, Hoodlum swings stick at Tommy. Tommy parries blow with right forearm behind Hoodlum's elbow. 2, Tommy grabs Hoodlum's right ankle with left hand. Hoodlum's balance is upset. He will fall on his back. 3, with his right foot on Hoodlum's left, Tommy brings Hoodlum's left foot under his left armpit. Tommy's left arm is a lever he presses down on Hoodlum's knee with his free hand. Burglar attacks Tommy from behind, pulling him to the floor. 1, Tommy gets firm grip on Burglar's wrist. 2, Tommy swings his legs over Burglar's head, locking them over his ears. 3, Tommy forces Burglar over to left side, holding on to headlock. Tommy presses down on Burglar's arm using leg as lever. See more of Tommy Troy in Adventures of the Fly. Jungle Rogues.
I have been a game commissioner in Africa for 10 years now. One day, I received special orders from the chief. I was to track down 2 red agents, known to be operating in the territory. The report gave me full details. These 2 agents were to arouse the natives against us. We who had been here for so long. With us out of the way, the foreign power would take control, rule the natives in their own cruel way, and take complete command of the area, which abounded in uranium. I drove my jeep to the village of my old friend, Chief Nakuma. He verified the fact that 2 strangers had passed through the village the day before. They spoke the native dialect perfectly, and had tried to arouse the chief's people against the local white authorities. Some of the younger men of the tribe were easily misled by the false promises of these foreign agents. They had gone off with the 2 white strangers to help them convince other natives it would be a good thing to drive out those who now held authority over them. A wild rogue elephant had been attacking villages during the past week, and I was going to use this situation to make those 2 enemy agents lose face. A show of weakness would do such harm to their cause that they would never again dare to approach these people with false promises. I was in luck. The trail of the rogue elephant coincided with the direction the Reds had taken. By the next day I had caught up with them. Some of Chief Nakuma's young men were there. I shouted at them. I told them these 2 men were enemies of truth and justice. I said these 2 were less than men. They were as the timid antelope when faced with real danger. Then it happened. Just as I had hoped, the wild elephant broke through the bushes and appeared in the clearing where we were standing. The natives showed their fear. They turned to the 2 agents, expecting them to destroy the beast. After all, had they not promised to protect them from every kind of danger? But the 2 Reds were in a panic. As the huge beast stampeded towards us, my gun roared. The beast fell to the ground only 3 feet from where I had held my ground. The young men looked at me with admiration. I was the man they could trust to protect them, not the trembling Reds. We returned to Chief Nakuma's village, where the young men narrated what had occurred. They vowed that from this day forth they would not listen to the lies of men who spoke the Red Party line. So my mission had been accomplished. The 2 Reds would be sent back to their own country, and I knew what fate awaited Red spies who had failed to carry out their assigned mission.
From the pastoral hills of Fairfield County to the training grounds of the army goes Lancelot Strong, but it's as his incredible alter ego, the Shield, that he encounters one of the most astounding adventures in his career, and tackles the most insidious threat to his country's security ever conceived, the menace of the Micromen. At Fort Patton, a training center for tank troops, new recruits are given instructions on how to operate their armored vehicles.
A fine lot of draftees they sent me now. Bah! And you're the biggest and the weirdest of this bunch. The army can't squeeze you into a uniform. How am I going to jam you into a tank?
You could transfer me to the band, Sergeant. I twang a mean guitar.
You were sent here to be tankers, and tankers I'll make of you. And someday, when you're ready, you'll be driving this kind of baby. An atomic tank.
Wow!
Sergeant Gripper is about to express some additional salty thoughts when the tank's engines suddenly leap to life, and...
The tank! It's running away! By itself!
What in blazes?
The young private who breaks ranks to chase the runaway vehicle, races like the wind until he overtakes his quarry.
Look out! It's heading for the open country!
And, at that same moment in a nearby highway, I tell you, Georgia, it is not dignified for a colonel to arrive at his post in this kind of a motorbug.
Oh, don't be a fuss budget, Uncle. It's good I happened along when your command car blew its gasket. Besides, Uncle, I'm just dying to see the demonstration of your new atomic tank.
Good gravy! I've got to stop this thing before...
There are only seconds left to avert a tragic collision, and the soldier works quickly, tearing open the tank hatch and lunging toward the controls. But somehow, the controls seem to have a will of their own. Even as Lancelot fights for their mastery, the tank plunges madly ahead. Zip! Gravy! Quick, Georgia!
Yow!
The great tank bounces to a halt against the hillside as the flustered occupants of the sports car turn angrily to the source of the near smash-up. The atomic tank! And you! Who are you, soldier?
Private Lancelot, strong, sir. The tank ran off by itself. I tried to stop it.
It ran off by itself? By itself? Are you in a rational state of mind, soldier?
Very much so, Colonel. But your humble private only knows part of the truth.
The strange man with the fedora and the snub-nosed machine pistol steps out of hiding, and even as he speaks, he puts an odd-shaped whistle to his lips, and...
You see, the atomic tank didn't exactly run off by itself. It was being driven.
The shrill sound of the whistle brings forth a most incredible sight from the open hatchway of the tank.
Little men! Inside the tank all this time! They were at the controls, and I couldn't see them!
Before his astounded victims can regain their wits, the stranger's hand whips inside a pocket and withdraws a pellet. But this is unbelievable! They can't be more than 3 inches high! Men like us!
No, not like us. But they are men, and they obey my orders, like stealing the atomic tank. And here is a sample of the power that brought the micromen to our world. The genius of Dr. Diablo.
When the pellet strikes, it erupts in a great green cloud that envelops the entire area. And when the last vestiges of green smoke have cleared away...
And what Dr. Diablo enlarges, he can also make small, even the atomic tank. And so, it is a simple matter to cart off my prizes in a common shoebox under the noses of the authorities.
When young Private Strong regains consciousness...
What hit me? I remember now. That Dr. Diablo. The pellet. The green gas. Got to find out what sort of fix I'm in.
Private Strong then makes a lightning change and emerges as the Shield. But a young hillbilly recruit can do little against an evil supermind like Dr. Diablo. I'll make better progress as the Shield. Summoning his own amazing powers, the Shield raises his body temperature to intense heat and melts down the steel door of the tank. I can sense that I'm in some large fortress-like building, but it won't hold me for long. After the shield bolts free of the tank, he runs headlong into a horde of micromen, whose size are now almost equal to his own. A little burst of speed will settle this. Racing through passages in a structure he cannot yet define, the shield finds a tunnel like aperture with a door at the end. Getting out of here will be a potluck business. Every door may hide life or death. Behind the first door, death. Yow! A chameleon, as big as a full-grown bull. Another door reveals another danger. Sorry, wrong door. Looks like I've wandered into the section where Diablo keeps his experimental animals. The shield finally finds the right door, but the element of danger has not diminished. It's Diablo. He's restored my two companions to their normal size.
When I carry the science of microscopy to its ultimate degree, I gain the powers to steal the top secret inventions of the world. But I made some other intriguing discoveries.
You're a menace to Diablo. If you don't release my niece and myself, you'll be defying the United States Army.
As I was saying, Colonel, I eventually developed a microcosmic probing machine so powerful I was able to study worlds that exist in a subatomic universe. From such a planet, I brought the micromen to Earth. But there's one thing I've never done, Colonel. I've never sent any subjects back to the subatom worlds. You two shall be the first. You shall vanish from the face of the earth.
You won't get away with this.
The shield looks desperately about until just what I'm looking for, to damage that machine. It won't be easy aiming this thing for a good shot, but that machine is too big to miss. To the tiny shield, the gun's roar is like a blast from an atom bomb. The recoil, like a jolt from an earthquake, it results in a wild shot, but the bullet does strike an electrical machine, causing a spectacular display.
What in blazes?
Then, like an angry hornet, the shield zooms out of hiding and attacks his giant enemies. But pursuit is swift and relentless. Mammoth hands reach and grab for the elusive mite.
I'll get you, blast you!
Then the incredible happens. There is a loud crackle and blinding flash. And
Why, this is unbelievable! You just shot up to normal size! Who are you?
a power to protect the principles of justice you would destroy. Men call me the Shield. You've used your scientific knowledge for evil ends, Diablo. I'm turning you over to the proper authorities.
I still have an ace card to play, Shield.
Diablo suddenly pulls a large switch, and chaos breaks loose in the building.
A stampede of my laboratory animals!
Meanwhile, Colonel Smith and his niece Georgia have been abandoned by their frightened captors, who have fled in the confusion. I'll catch up with Diablo later. Right now, I've got to help them, but not as the Shield. The Shield suddenly vanishes in the uproar. Soon after, in his place, Private Lancelot Strong reappears, driving the atomic tank, now restored to its former size.
Quick, sir! In here!
We're certainly glad to see you, soldier. How did you ever restore yourself and the tank to your original sizes?
I can't let him know about the shield and his powers. Got to dodge the issue.
Look out, you young bungler! You're shaking us up! Haven't you ever driven a tank before?
The lab is destroyed. No one could live after that.
Ouch! By Gaffrey, I'll save you from a court-martial, private. Ow! But Jupiter, I'll keep you out of tanks from now on. You.
Lancelot Strong, sir.
Lancelot? You've only got the name of a knight, but that dashing mystery man, the shield is my idea of what a knight is like.
I'm sure he likes you too, miss.
And this is only the beginning of the double life of Private Strong. For that fantastic man of action, the shield, will be seen again. Don't miss the further spine-tingling adventures in his amazing career.
So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, just let me know in the comments, and I'll tell you when I can do the request. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.